Hiren, you work with companies all over the world, and you started a neurodiverse center for excellence at EY. And I guess first, let's start with kind of a basic glossary question. What does neurodiverse mean?
Yeah.
And what should an employer know when it comes to the entire category?
Neurodiversity is a really interesting dimension of cognitive variation in the world. So all of us are part of the neurodiverse population. What enlightened me 8 years ago is that somewhere in the range of 15 to 22% of the world has an inherent hardwired divergence in social thinking, communication, and learning style. And what's happened is that this population, often with a diagnosis, autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, it's quite a large umbrella term. Many of these individuals are unemployed or underemployed because there's a lot of masking. It's like, oh, I'm trying to be like everybody else. Hari, what is so exciting to me is unlocking the power of thinking differently is transformative. We think that's where innovation is. We think that's where transformation, that's where new product is and new process. And I think that's where we get that sense, am I really bringing my whole self to work?
Are you seeing implementation? Are the companies that you're working with, if they're looking at it from a kind of hard nuts and bolts, bottom line view and saying, hey, I am seeing a result here from being more inclusive. This is better for my product, better for my team, better for my bottom line?
100%. We took a very interesting approach. A lot of the approach to date has been on the individual. How do we find a role for that person and skill them to work in that role? We flipped this on its head and said, what if we just looked at the business need and broke down those characteristics of a prompt engineer, which is one of the biggest things we look for,
sure,
of a data scientist? What are these attributes and skills we're looking for? And when we overlaid that to the neurodivergent population, we saw an amazing strengths-based opportunity. So business performance has gone up, new product has been created. Here's the other side effects. Employee engagement has gone up because employees around say, wow, we're not just talking about inclusion, we're actually doing it. And managers are learning how to be more inclusive to everyone. And so this is a bit of a keyhole into universal design and application, but it's a very business-driven approach that says if we don't measure these outcomes, we're never going to scale, we're never going to sustain.
You also help design the onboarding process for the neurodiverse. Kind of explain that. I mean, really even start at the kind of interview level. What do you do different?
It's funny, Hari, we had to, it's kind of like you take lasagna and deconstruct it. You say, what are all these components? And we say, what's preventing this in the first place? Like, where is all the hurdles or the brick walls? And the biggest aha moment is that we're looking for behavioral traits of people, which frankly does not necessarily correlate into performance.
Sure.
And
so see if you can get along. Do you want to have a beer with the guy, right?
That's weird. Right. Do we have something in common? Can you be witty and have rapport?
Sure.
As opposed to, I'm hiring a prompt engineer or data scientist. Are you the best prompt engineer or data scientist? So we said, what if we just pivoted this to a performance-based observation process? And this was the biggest aha moment where it takes about a week to do this. And companies will say, well, I don't have a week. I need to hire somebody today. And we say, would you like 92% retention of cybersecurity specialist, data scientist? If you'd like that, new product and new process, you would spend that 1 week because it will engage you into finding the best talent. And it almost takes the disabilities conversation off the table. We're saying, we're just looking for the best talent. But that was a redesign of a process that, frankly, we've now done around the world. And we said, wow, this is actually scalable, it's repeatable, it's sustainable. And I want to go back to something you said, the public-private partnerships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vocational rehab agencies, nonprofits and NGOs, the university and education system, and other businesses. We realized there was a big idea here. The big idea was, could we actually create new value through a lens of the inclusive economy? So like the circular economy focuses on the environment, could we look at the inclusive economy and would that actually build new value for colleagues, clients, and communities?
This is not charity.
All at the same time, and it's not charity. That's the one C we left out.
Yes.
But because we have realized unless it's sustainable or scalable, we're just kind of, we're doing good work and we're fighting a good fight. But do we want to be here 5 years later having the same
You
conversation?
want it to be replicable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The potential of hiring a neurodiverse workforce is part of a larger conversation. Breaking barriers, embracing disabilities in the workforce. Watch this riveting roundtable on Working Nation Discourse. You're watching Working Nation Discourse. Subscribe and join the discussion.